Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George N. Touliatos and brought to you by his book, The Bible of Bodybuilding 2. It's over 700 pages, jam-packed with everything you need to know about training, nutrition, supplementation, and of course, PEDs. That is available on Amazon.com. If you're on Amazon.com, you can also get my book, Real Bodybuilding. Before I introduce them, guys, I want to let you know you can share these videos on your platforms, and I would really like you to do that so we can get these videos out to more people. This is such a great opportunity to have a medical doctor who's also a champion bodybuilder every week answering your questions. More and more people should be taking advantage of this. So, without further ado, all the way from Athens, Greece, please welcome the good doctor, George N. Touliatos. How are you, George?
Fine. Well, how was it in Boston in the show?
Yeah.
I thought you were interviewing Jay Cutler, right?
Yeah. So Jay Cutler, he promotes two big amateur events every year here in Boston. The Jay Cutler Classic in the springtime, and then the New England Championships in the fall. Really good turnout. You know what? We had so many men classic physique competitors. I think there were about 40. There's a lot of classic physique guys.
So gives a pro card, right?
This is not a pro qualifier. It's a national qualifier, and the nationals, I think, are in 2 weeks here. So the guy who won the whole show, the bodybuilding overall champion, was from my gym. I see him every day. Big. He's a short kid. He's so thick, and he's trained recently by Jose Raymond. His name's Josh Brown. So it was good. It's good when someone you know wins the show. It's a cool thing.
Yeah.
And I had a client. She won the Masters Women's Physique, Randy. So it was a good day. Yeah. And Jay Cutler. Everybody loves Jay.
Yeah.
So okay, let's get to some questions, guys. Again. This is a great opportunity you have every week. So please share these videos, like them, do all that good stuff. And let's begin with very, very common question. Usually we don't get it this time of year. Usually we get this question in the springtime, but what would be the best, quote unquote, best stack for fat loss in terms of all the different PEDs that if somebody was using all the variety of PEDs, doctor?
Yeah. So we refer to the current cycle. Fast ester testosterone, Winstrol, Anavar, Trenbolone, halotestin, T3, T4, ECA stack, Clomid, GH. I would say that you need the 170. 170. No, it's I don't remember the peptide that is specified for fat loss. I think it's 199, something like that. Anyway, because GH is the real deal. Yeah. And you can, I mean, I wouldn't suggest the use of DMP. Okay, so what I mentioned is enough. Then, of course, you need the diet and the cardio, okay, and the proper macros. I mean, high protein, moderate carbs, low fat, and frequent meals. So we know the drill.
Yeah. Why do you think Tren has become so popular? People think it's like magic for fat loss, and I don't believe it has.
When it's very energetic, it burns the fat. I mean, you sweat a lot with Tren because it boosts the basal metabolic rate.
Yeah.
Okay. It drives you crazy, but you need androgens to burn the fat. Yeah. That's what defines them. They increase the beta oxidation.
Yeah, people complain that when they're on Tren, this never happened to me, but they wake up at night and they're soaked with sweat just from sleeping. Yeah, imagine that. Yikes. Okay. All right. Another gear question. Of course, that's what we're here for. I'm thinking about doing a Dball only cycle. That's Dball. Do I need to use an aromatase inhibitor if I take 20 to 30 milligrams a day for 6 weeks? And what do you think about a Dball only cycle?
I don't suggest, just anabolics because you need the testosterone, obviously. That will improve and will accelerate and magnifies the result. But you need, for good sex drive, also for strength, for fat burning, the testosterone. But we've said it's half of the cycle. But if you're high converted to estrogens, according to your diet or to your body fat, yes, you may need some AI, even with 30 milligrams, if you're a high converter of estrogen, is genetically predisposed.
Yeah. Doctor, do you believe that in the mid 60s, when steroids were first really becoming a part of bodybuilding competition, guys, they claimed that that's all they used was 20 or 30 milligrams of Dball a day, and that was their whole cycle. Do you believe
Yeah,
that?
it made Dianabol eventually, you know.
Hmm.
It was by Cigna. And also it was injectable Dianabol back then. I think
Oh,
it was 5 milligrams per ml, were very, no, or 50, I don't remember, but it was injectable.
yeah.
Big vial, you know, from Ciba, which is pharmaceutical grade. Yeah, I mean, listen, uh, Arnold had supreme genetics, but we've seen people like Arnold. I mean, in the way that he is not built, especially, but in the body about fat percentage. You know,
Yeah.
we've seen many guys in the gyms, you know, on the beach or in the nationals, even more ripped. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, and making such a physique with just low drug dose means that uh, you're a genetic freak. But if we look back to the Bill Pearl,
Yeah.
okay, and
Larry
also
Scott.
Larry Scott, or even before Steve Reeves, you know, or Reg Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could use a couple of Dynamols, and that's all, you know.
Hmm.
Of
Wow.
course, injectable testosterone was available since the World War II, you know.
Right.
But of course, Dianabol was made in the late 50s.
So I in the 90s, in the late 90s, I got a hold of, there was a injectable Dianabol from Mexico it was veterinary. It was
Mm,
called Reforvit B, but I think it was only 50 milligrams per ml.
yeah.
And the guy that sold it to me told me I could drink it. I didn't have to inject it, so I would drink it. I don't
But
know.
that's the thing, believe you can drink the windstorm instead of injecting yourself and making it, abscess. And you could drink it simply because it was alkylated, it could survive the acidity of the stomach. You know, once I said that to Patrick Arnold, and he said that was hilarious, but he believed that obviously it didn't exist such a thing. You know, but anyway, the 7 alkylated are really strong, and they bypass the hepatic. I mean, they sustain the hepatic entrance. You know, so they're super strong.
Okay. Here's a two-part question. The first one, can someone with non-bacterial prostatitis, which is inflammation of your prostate gland, use clomid and proviron?
I think clomiphene, yes, but Proviron, because it's synthetic DHT, might irritate the prostate, increase the PSA. So I don't think it's a good idea Proviron when you have already prostatitis.
Hmm.
But clomiphene,
Hmm.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. And the second question, will quitting smoking weed, marijuana, raise testosterone levels?
Well, if we supposedly elevates prolactin, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, have you seen this with patients? I don't know how popular cannabis marijuana is over in Greece, but it's very, very popular in the US. I've seen guys get gynecomastia from smoking weed every day.
Type of weed that actually it's not weed in the state is toasted or is fresh. I mean, is the plant itself or you smoke it. I mean, you smoke. I don't know how to call the procedure, but is it dry or is it let's say
Yeah.
um, because
Well, I
in
mean,
Greece we have a lot. We do have a lot, and we
okay.
produce
Okay.
a lot. Of course, it breaks the law, but it's different. It's different than marijuana, as far as I know.
Yeah. It's actually 100% legal right here where I live. It's not legal in all parts of the US, but I think 35 out of 50 states
I
have
think Colorado,
recreational weed now. Yeah.
yeah.
But I've always heard that it raises your estrogen levels, marijuana, cannabis. So I could see quitting it wouldn't necessarily raise your testosterone, but if you had elevated estrogen because of it and that goes down, well, then the balance shifts, right, to
I've
higher
heard about
testosterone.
prolactin. I've heard about prolactin.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
This is a very detailed medical question. So, boy, oh boy, my progesterone is 0.52 and the normal range is up to 0.15 nanograms per milliliter. All other hormones in the blood are normal. FT and TT are above average. LH, FSH, estradiol, prolactin is normal. I have no desire for sex and sometimes feel pain in my testicles. I went to a urologist. They looked at me with an ultrasound, said everything was normal. I think it's loaded progesterone. What do you think?
Now you can, I mean, progesterone, yes, lowers the sex drive.
Hmm.
And your doc believes that you should take progesterone after you have sex at night and not before. Of course, it calms you down. And pregnenolone metabolizes progesterone. Now, antagonizing the progesterone is DHT. So if you take DHT, you can lower progesterone and have more sex drive. On the flip side of the coin, somebody that wants to lower DHT by hair thinning, he can use progesterone. Of course, he would kill his sex drive in the same way he uses on the androgens. So use progesterone for the sake of your hair thinning, but use DHT to lower progesterone and have a good sex drive.
Right on. Okay. Sex drive comes up right in the next question. DECA crashes libido, that is sex drive, while I'm using it. Is there a way to fix that by using Proviron while using DECA?
I don't think so. You should use a double amount of testosterone.
Yeah. You say that almost every week. If you're going to use DECA, the dose of testosterone should be twice. Otherwise, you get.
What Connor said 70 years ago in the anabolics.
Yeah. Okay. Next one is, I've been doing natural bodybuilding for 11 years, and I'm thinking of competing next year. As a beginner, I'm thinking of starting with GH, growth hormone, but I heard it shows its effect after 6 months and helps people build muscle. Is that true? Someone wants to sell me HGH somatropin, 100 IUs. I have no experience at all. Do you think it would be beneficial? So does it take 6 months to start seeing the effects of growth hormone?
Yeah, allegedly it does. So you need to create more new muscle cells that take a window of a couple of weeks or months in order to enlarge in size, because hypothetically GH increases the number of the nuclei and the number of muscle cells in the fibers, but then the new ones you need to enlarge them by the hypertrophy. The first one is called hyperplasia. But of course, you need to use some anabolics, okay, if you want to stay natty. I don't know, can they use serums? But just the GH itself, it loses the potency. So if you stack it with testosterone, of course, and steroids, then you accelerate and you magnify, you exaggerate the result of it.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to see the potency of the GH, you just measure the IGF-1, and if it elevates, then it's legitimate.
Yeah. You've said in many previous episodes, both here and all those years we were doing with MD, that you won't see growth effects, muscle gain with growth hormone until you pass a certain threshold. I think you said it was about 6 to 8 units a day.
Yes. And also GH, it doesn't give you this aggression and the strength and the hardness of the steroids, especially in the short term. But you can grow gradually and stay lean at the same time in the long run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. I was using growth hormone regularly up until a couple months ago. I ran out, and right now I'm not able to get any. I noticed it keeps you leaner with nothing else changing in your diet. Cardio, you just have a leaner, harder look from growth hormone. So I can see why people use it all the time. Do you know anything about this testosterone, which is it's like a hormonal type of supplement?
It's a doping-free compound that's used by many track athletes.
Oh, okay.
They can use it because it raises the endogenous testosterone. Okay. And it's a legal supplement. We can ask Rick Collins about it, but track athletes that visited me at work, they told me that they'd be using that, without having the concern about getting past.
Wow. So I've heard mixed reviews. Some people say it really works well. I've heard other people say it didn't do anything for them. So, but if you're talking with high level track athletes, and they definitely know what they're doing. So, final question. We get a lot more female viewers lately. I guess that's a great thing. Will testosterone increase libido in premenopausal women? What is the dosage, and can it cause hair loss in women?
Well, it does, and we see that from bodybuilders, but it's a realization effect. So I believe postmenopausal women should use testosterone, but not as a priority hormone, as the number 3 hormone. So first is estrogens, then progesterone, then testosterone or DHEA. Okay.
Yeah.
but in a very minor amount. So 1% cream. Women use 20% cream, very dense. But 1% you apply to the clitoris for sex drive, for better mood, okay, and to reverse also the obesity and insulin resistance. But you need to be aware of the dose, because you have the acne, you have the hirsutism, and you want to avoid also the virilization. But postmenopausal, yes, it's better as a full pack HRT profile.
Yeah, I asked a woman, because I use that Andre Miller's company, Frontline Alternative, and his wife Karen. We did an interview a couple months ago, and she's on a full HRT with estrogen, testosterone, and the other one.
Yeah, I know a female which is now, I guess, she's in her 50s. She's postmenopausal. She's been competing in the 90s. And she's using, I think, 150 milligrams of injectable propionate once a week.
150.
Along with estrogen and progesterone. So it's part of the HRT, but in Europe, it's way more, backwards. In the States, it's far more progressive. And here, the way backwards to that, the dark ages still here. I mean, if they don't accept testosterone for men, are they going to accept it for women?
It's true. But so I guess women, for testosterone dose, she was telling me a typical dose for a woman is 20 milligrams for the week. That's it. 20 milligrams.
You don't care about the size. You want to kill the moodiness and the lack of libido. So you boost the sex drive and better mood, antidepressive.
Yeah.
Okay, because women as men, we need a little bit from the different hormones. So we need a little bit of estrogens for a good sex drive. If we kill estrogen with an AI, we kill the sex drive. Yeah. And the same goes for women. They need a little bit of androgens to feel horny.
It's true. I mean, I hope my wife doesn't get mad, but it's been many, many years since she used very light amounts of gear, very light, like, 10 milligrams of Anavar. That would be a day. That's what's her whole cycle. And I can say for certain, her sex drive when she was on that little bit of gear was so much higher than normal.
I think that Anavar is not androgenic at all,
Yeah. Well, she never, I know for a fact she never used tests, because I was the one that gave her any steroids she ever used over the years. So no test. A little bit of we tried Primo one time, Anavar a couple times. Winstrol, she tried it, and about 3 weeks into using Winstrol, she started losing a little bit of hair, and she says, "We're done. No more Winstrol," because she saw a big clump in the shower of her hair. She's like, that scared the crap out of her. Anyway, cool. All right. Well, what else do I got there? Follow Dr. T and me. Yes. Do I got that there? No, I got to put that there. Trying to get this up. Okay. There we go. So follow us both on Instagram, Dr. George Touliatos, Ron Harris Muscle. If you have questions for next week, guys, please put them underneath here. Like I said in the beginning, we're very, very fortunate and blessed to have Dr. Touliatos, medical doctor, still practicing, still living in the bodybuilding lifestyle every day, training hard, looking great. And he's here to answer your questions every week. So please share these videos, do anything you can to get the word out about Ask Dr. T. It's a great show. And I don't say that because it's my channel. I say it because I think it's amazing what Dr. T does here every week. So thank you.
Your thoughts about CBAM in 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah. So let me show you something real quick.
He can win. I mean, win. He could have the best conditioning, and it's a fact.
Yeah.
It's a fact to win if the other guys are off. And we know the size doesn't matter exclusively, because Dexter and Frank Zane also beat Arnold and Jay Cutler due to conditioning, right?
Yeah.
But okay, size is what matters here. But he's going to be at least 5 to 10 pounds heavier because of the rebound. I don't know about the year. It's just a month far from the previous show.
Yeah, it's only 5 weeks.
Aesthetics, he has, I guess, the best front lat spread in matters of structure. Okay, the best separation definition.
Yeah.
He bulks a little bit, just the way Milos bulked with insulin, and he was bragging about it when he was competing with Lebroni Flex Wheeler, and Ronnie in the British Grand Prix. He also can do that, you know, and be very decent and perhaps be in top 3, you know.
Yeah, I mean, some people think he can win. This guy we're looking at right next to him, Martin Fitzwater, he's the heavy favorite because he was fourth.
Much better. Come on.
You were there. You were right there up front at the Olympia. You saw Martin.
This lat spread reminds me of Dorian, the way the lats pop out, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Sex.
There's no gap. There's no gap between the arms and the lat. The lats is
look good at 250, you know, with striated glutes also. Because 240, he was at the Olympia. He can stem. He was 3%. He could go up to 4 or 5% with 10 more pounds.
Yeah, yeah. You know who's going to be there is Giles. Giles is going to be in Prague because he's doing the pay-per-view commentary. So yeah. I'm very jealous. I wish I was there because I think this is the last time we're ever going to see Chris Bumstead compete. I don't think he'll do one open show, and I think he's done forever after this.
Do you think that this is the start of a new era for Bumstead? No, he's going to retire, right?
I think he'll retire.
I mean, he didn't retire from the physique, obviously. He retired from bodybuilding.
Yeah, well, I mean, you and I both know if he wants to be Mr. Olympia, if he wants to beat Samson Dauda,
he cannot be Mr. Olympia. I mean,
he's going to need how much more? 20, 30 more pounds? Easy.
Yeah. And now, listen, he doesn't have to decide the full suite, you know, of the house, but his definition is excellent, supreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
This is so exciting. People are very, very excited. This is going to get as many pay-per-views as the Olympia did, I bet. As many people watching. That's my prediction. And all the way over in Czech Republic. Who knew? Cool. All right. Well, that's our show for the week, guys. Again, leave your questions in the comments below or just drop a comment in general. We appreciate your feedback. Appreciate Dr. George Touliatos here every week. So thanks for watching Ask Dr. Testosterone. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.